Hello, everyone. Welcome back, or welcome here if you've never been here before. I'm Randy. I'm the Cheap Audio Man. So, this is probably the third or fourth video that has included anything about the Moon. Integrated amp, Moon 240i, Moon by Simaudio 240i. This is going to be my dedicated review to it. If you've seen any of my other videos, I haven't really been all that kind to the 240i, the Moon 240i integrated amp. Why is that? Well, first let's talk about the good things. It's built very, very well. It's very solid. It's fairly heavy. I can see big capacitors inside that I'm sure are very good quality. It sounds really good close up. Sounds really good near field. It's very, very revealing. There's subtle nuances of music that I've only heard on the Moon, but it's kind of like once you hear it, then you can hear it on, I guess, lower level of speakers or things, because you know it's there, and then your brain is like looking for it. But I will say that this is very revealing. Mid-range is excellent. Top end is excellent. Very tactile feel to cymbal hits, things like that. Low end is there. And compared to other things, it's fine. It's good. It's very good. It's very good in the near field. Very, very good. It's got a phono amp in it. I compared the phono amp to I think it was a $200 Project phono amp I had for a while. And it sounded good enough that I returned the Project. Did it sound significantly better? Not in my opinion. It sounded good enough that I could return an external phono amp. It has a DAC. It's a Sabre, ESS Sabre DAC integration. It goes up to, I believe, 24-bit by 386. Is it good? What have I compared it to? I've compared it to the Topping D50S, which is also a Sabre DAC, $250. Has an LDAC, Bluetooth. Very good sounding DAC in my opinion. I also compared this to the SMSL M300 Mark II. I actually prefer the SMSL $240 DAC to the one inside. Not by much. It's marginal, very marginal, but I did prefer it. So this has a phono preamp, 1, 2, 3, actually 1, 2 analog inputs, a preamp output, 2 coax SPDIF digitals, 2 optical SPDIF, and a full-size USB, kind of like a printer cable USB. This retails for $2,500. Who's it for? I would say it's for people that have very revealing high-end systems. I didn't talk about power. Power output is 50 watts into 8 ohms, and about 75-ish, I think, or maybe a little bit more, into 4 ohms. Speakers that I used on this to listen were the ELAC UB5s, Unify UB5s. I'm a big fan of those speakers. I think they're great. Also listened to Klipsch RP600Ms and the KEF LS50. I think the best pairing with this was the KEF LS50 in near field listening. not in near field listening and above 75 dB, not only do I not particularly care for the KEFs, I don't care for the Moon. On complex musical pieces, such as One by Metallica, with the S&M2, off the S&M2, S&M2 album, this didn't keep up with the separation. Above 75 dB, listening far away, it started to get jumbled up. And it sounded very similar to the Denon PMA 600NE, which is a $400 integrated. It had way more in common with the Denon than it did with my Anthem integrated 225, which is my integrated amplifier of choice for people that spend more money on audiophile stuff. Who's this for? This is for audiophiles. I put that in parentheses because for me, music is about enjoyment. For me, music is about punch, visceral. I want it to touch me. I want it to shake me. I want to be moved by music. This, I wouldn't say it moved me. I heard things that I haven't heard before in music with this. But when it comes to enjoyment, I just could not justify how much this thing cost. And I didn't pay retail for it, far from it. It just wasn't for me. Maybe if you have really high-end stuff hooked up to it. The gentleman that I sold this to is going to be listening to KEF LS50s with it. He's going to have a very expensive phono preamp going into it. He's going to have a streamer going into it. And I think, depending upon the speaker, and I think the KEFs are very good pairing with it, I think it's going to be great. I think it really will be fine. The thing that I don't understand about Moon by Simaudio is why this exists. I think I know why. It's $2,500 and it's the low end of their amplifier offering. And I know it's probably to get people into the Moon platform. I don't know. So they want to upgrade. I don't see it for myself. I don't want to upgrade. If anything, this tells me that all this hype about, audiophile products is simply that, hype. It doesn't do enough to really move the needle for me. It's very good. It's built very well. The volume is very smooth and nice. I'm sure everything in it was very well thought out. But I also compared this to an AV receiver, Marantz NR1711, in pure direct mode that has a very nice mode for 2-channel, really 2.1 channel. And this was marginally better. It was clearer. It was cleaner. You could hear definitely more on the top end. Also, you could hear air in this. So when you turn on something, a turn on recording, you can hear that air hitting the microphone, which I couldn't hear with the Denon, and I also couldn't hear that with the Marantz. But you shouldn't be able to hear that, considering this is $2,500. If you have $2,500 to spend on an amp, I wouldn't steer you towards this. I would steer you towards maybe a preamp and the Anthem 225. I would tell you to go try to find a used Anthem integrated 225. I mean, for the price of this, you could put together a very well-appointed system with sources, with speakers, that, in my opinion, would sound better than this. Where this falls apart is regular listening distances, I'd say greater than 8 feet, and louder levels. I tried efficient speakers with it. I tried inefficient, low, 4 ohm speakers with it. And I tried the KEFs with it. I just don't think, unless your system really supports it, you're gonna get the value out of this. And frankly, I don't know if there's enough value in this to really justify it at $2,500. I also had a back and forth with one of their technical support people about the DAC. I was hearing popping in the DAC, and just the way some of the solutions for the popping was to use a different platform, like JRiver or Audiovana or some of the other ones, and I wasn't using those. I was using Amazon HD. My other DACs don't pop. This one did. It was just the way he said that how sensitive and things can be. I didn't like it. This also doesn't have a sub out or tone controls, and I'm sure when you get into the audiophile labels of things, they shouldn't have sub outs or they shouldn't have tone controls. Fine, I don't know. I like tone controls. The Anthem integrated 225 has tone controls. The Denon has tone controls. And quite frankly, if someone's telling me how I should be enjoying my music, they can get out. I want more treble, I'm going to add more treble. I want more bass, I'm going to add more bass. Speaking of bass, this one is not punchy at all. Maybe it controls the bass better. I don't know. I didn't really hear that. I didn't hear. The only difference I heard was on the top end. It was with air and a little bit more of a tactile nature with the cymbals. Other than that, that's it. Very clean mid-range. Vocals are very good. But I don't know. You're going to have to... This seems like an audiophile product. This seems like something that only works in certain circumstances, kind of like a sports car. I wouldn't call this a sports car, though. I'd call this, I don't know, luxury vehicle, maybe. That has to be only used in certain applications. This is not a do-it-all piece of kit for me. Really isn't. But people love it. I looked at the reviews before I bought it, and it was very, very well reviewed. But not for me. As I said before, maybe I don't have maybe my pedestrian taste in music isn't for this, and it obviously isn't. Maybe if you're more well refined in your musical taste, this would be good for you. I don't know. It's not a high value at all to me. Not a high value at all. Don't buy it. Don't buy it. Don't buy it 50% off used. Well, I can't tell you not to buy it. If you want to buy it, buy it. But don't pay $2,500 for it. And the interesting thing is there's like no YouTube reviews of this out there. I wonder why that is. I wondered what this thing was worth. Like, what is it really worth? And it was worth less than half of what it is retail. And you know how I know it's worth less than half? Because that's what the market price is. Less than half. So, very good used Moon 240i by Simaudio. It's worth less than half of what a retail one is. And this thing's in pristine condition. I barely used it. And I bought it, and it was, for all intents and purposes, new when I bought it. So, I don't know. I'm sorry for pooping on you so much, Moon. I'm very sorry. But I hope that was valuable for you. What do I want to eventually do with this channel? I'd love to get new things and review them. Because everything that I have that I'm reviewing now, I've paid for with my own money. Because I enjoy it. I enjoy the hobby. I don't have any links. I don't make any money from this. Maybe someday I'll have links and I can use that money to buy things to review or whatever, but I'm doing this solely because I want to maybe help somebody. This is obviously my opinion. Obviously my opinion. And it would appear that my opinion differs from some of the other probably way more learned people about this. I don't know. I wouldn't buy this unless you, I don't know, maybe heard it and you just have to have it. But in a regular room, like in a non-perfect situation, in a regular room with that you don't have a bunch of sound treatments installed on it outside of near field listening, this thing just doesn't cut it for me. It's not dynamic enough. It doesn't have enough power to really get the most out of the ELACs for sure. And it just, I guess you could say it's just too well behaved, maybe. I don't know. But, so that's it. That's my opinion on this. I know, I don't know. I compared it to the Anthem, compared it to the Denon, compared it to an AV receiver. It's better than the AV receiver. It's maybe marginally better than the Denon PMA 600NE. And actually, I think it loses to the Denon in dynamics, and I think it loses to the Denon for control at higher volume levels, above 75 dB. I really do. I think it's not as good as the Denon, unless you're close up, unless it's near field. Anyway, I'm not going to poop on it anymore. I'm going to box it up, and I'm going to take it to the post office, and I'm going to send it to its new owner, who's very excited about it, and I'm glad he is. I'm glad he is. And I'm glad that he's not going to see this video before I send it to him. It probably wouldn't change his opinion anyway. I tell you what I would look at if you're looking at an integrated. I would look at the musical fidelities. I would look at Emotiva. I would love to get a BassX Emotiva, the 2-channel one. It's $400. I'd love to get that compared to the Denon. There's a lot of stuff out there that I think for most people in most applications would be better than this. We'll see though. We'll see. Anyway, am I keeping it? No, I'm not keeping it. It's leaving me today. Anyway, I'm Randy, Cheap Audio Man. Please subscribe. Please support the channel by viewing. That's all you have to do. You don't have to give me any money. I don't have to do anything. Just watch my videos. Subscribe. And that's it. If you like it, like the video. If you don't like the video. Anyway, hope you all have a good one. Bye, 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 bye.